What is up? What is up, Milsurp Nation? How are y'all doing? It's Big Boy Rabbit coming to you wild and free from like West Central Alabama. I had to do a little move. That's why I hadn't been on lately. But hey, we're back where we need to be. We're back set up. We're in a good spot. And today is going to be the official release of a new collaboration between myself, Sean over at the Blonde Sniper, Gary over at Guns and Gear with Gary Gunderson, and old movie maker. Pop it up on the screen because I can't ever remember the numbers behind his name. And I wanted to talk to you about a very unappreciated rifle, the Spanish Mauser. It's one of my favorite rifles and a lot of these other gun tubers' favorite rifles, but it's really underappreciated. So hey, let's crack in and get a close-up look at some of these really cool, underappreciated old rifles.
We're going to be comparing the NATO compliant M1916 and 7.62 NATO with the original M1916 in 7x57 Mauser. That's right, 7mm Mauser, that original zippy 2,500 feet per second Spanish Hornet, baby. Thoroughly enjoy this light green wood stock on the original M1916. I gotta say that this darker finish on the NATO compliant M1916, that's something that's universally accepted between me, Gary, movie maker, and Sean, is that front side's a little busy. Those protector leaves, now they're great. They are great for protecting that sight. However, when you're trying to pick up a target at 300 meters, that's a little cumbersome. However, out here in Mississippi and Alabama, where it is incredibly dense foliage and heavy trees and hills, engaging sub 100 meters, these things are great for quick target acquisition, especially when you're using the carbine. These rifles are insanely unappreciated. That's something that me and Gary over at Guns and Gary Gunderson can agree on, as well as Sean and movie maker. However, Sean says that for the price that you might as well just get a like a Turkish or a Yugo Mauser. I think that the Spanish are much better, other than the questionable metal, but again, don't shoot high SAMI rounds and you won't really have an issue. These rifles can still be picked up for $300 and $400 if you know where you're looking for, and they're generally in great condition. The M1916s, I can't speak on the 1893s as much, the long boys. I haven't had the opportunity to get a hold of the long boy. And I just love the carbine so much. I don't know why I would go to the long one, especially when I don't have, long ranges to be firing at. Love these Spanish rifles. I think that if you don't, you should be on the lookout for these Spanish rifles. They have an incredibly cool history that, if you want to learn more, make sure to hit that subscribe button for my episodes that will be released on the Spanish Civil War and the American Spanish War, because the 1893 played a pivotal role in the American Spanish War, and the M1916s here played a huge role in the Spanish Civil War, a huge role. So make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like, and if you hadn't already, get down in those comments and tell me all the things that I missed, or what do you like about the M1916?
Now, the first thing that I love, that me and Sean agree on, and me and Gary disagree on, is the straight stock. I actually like it because it's a slender, not so quite a fat grip for somebody with smaller hands, and I like the way that it grips on. However, Gary would prefer a half pistol, or the bump right there. Now, something that Sean has had firsthand experiences with the 7.62 NATO converted 1916s is, and this is where a lot of people mess up, when you're firing 308s in this, loaded to the SAMI specs of 308 Winchester, even though a lot of them are marked 308. They are M1916 308, made in Spain. What will happen to your gun is these locking lugs and the Spanish steel isn't rated for those pressures. And as you fire it, your locking lugs will slowly start pushing back and pushing back and pushing back the more and more you fire those high pressure rounds, until eventually your locking lug is pressed back enough that your head spacing is way off. You have a catastrophic cartridge failure, in your chamber, and your chamber won't necessarily fail. What'll fail is your receiver right here will split and banana because it can't handle the pressures from that ruptured base of the cartridge. And it also pushes your bolt back, which messes up just all kind of stuff if your locking lugs don't break. Might not necessarily hurt you unless you keep your nose real close to up here. But yeah, don't be firing 308 Winchesters unless you are checking your head spacing regularly. That's a tip from Big Boy Rabbit and Sean at the Blind Sniper. Now, something that Sean actually likes, because he says the speed of being able to work the bolts is their cock on close right here, which means that instead of cocking when you open the bolt, and it's empty, chamber is empty, that you cock when you close it. I prefer cock on open for one reason. Now, yes, this is conducive for a faster running bolt gun. However, with shooting old Milsurp, you get a lot of hard primers and offset primers and stuff. So sometimes you get that click when you're out in the field, especially if you're shooting at a hog or a deer, you don't want to shuck that round, and because it's gone if you do it in the field. I would rather just be able to lift that bolt up, pop it back down, and fire back at it. But that's not going to happen with these Mausers. You can pop it open, pull it back just about to there, and push it back forward. So it's not totally off the table. I just personally prefer a cock on open bolt versus a cock on close. However, the cock on close is faster, marginally faster. It just depends on how you train. Now, Sean says that these guns are overpriced. I don't think so. I mean, yes, right now you could just get you a Czech Mauser or, a Turkish Mauser. Don't get it. I mean, if you get a Turkish Mauser, that's settling for less. All right. Spanish Mausers are absolutely awesome. If you hang around, you can still pick them up for $400. Both of those I picked up for, I can't remember that one. I think I traded something for it a long time ago. That one I know I only paid about 200, 250 for, I think. I know it wasn't that much. So, you just have to look at your local gun stores and keep your eyes open for that pretty straight stock. Now, I like the long boys too. I just haven't had the opportunity to get a hold of a long boy. And these carbines, out here in Alabama and Mississippi, it's very wooded, very hilly, very thick. So don't really need a super long rifle. I prefer a carbine. And these guns have been absolutely serving the heck Something else I absolutely love is the very sharp comb of the Spanish rifles. I really like that it's thinner. It lends to a little less weight, and that is my big draw on the Spanish Mausers, is that they weigh significantly less than, say, my 98K or VZ24 or Persian M30. Those actually have a little bit more heft to them, and that could due to the wood they used and the metal. See, the metallurgy with that split and receiver, that might be why these rifles are a little bit lighter than those other rifles. So, give and take, but if you're shooting the 7x57 and 7.62 NATO loads, you really shouldn't have any problem running either one of these rifles for your entire lifetime. Now, for comparison purposes, we have 7mm Mauser, Hornady, Super Performance, whatever, and some Federal PowerShock 308 right next to each other to show you the difference between the 7.62 and the 7x57. It's not a whole heck of a lot of difference, but this one tends to be a little bit higher pressure than this one is. Another little subtle difference between the original and the conversion. You see, you got this magazine release on this one. I haven't done my research to actually know why, but there's apparently like 3 different floor plates. But you got this type, and then you got this type with the push button. Take your round out and push that, and that releases the floor plate. Then there's a third one that I don't have that has a little button here that you press with the bullet to release. Now, both of these absolutely beautiful rifles are fed by a 5-round stripper clip that feeds straight in from the top, right on in there, and then you slap that bolt forward, which will eject the stripper clip and send the first round in the chamber, so you're ready to rock. They're absolutely beautiful rifles with internal magazines, 5-round staggered internal magazines that are flush with the stock. Now, something that everybody said unanimously, that's right, Gary, Sean, and the movie maker, said they love the controlled feed. And to be totally honest with you, I had zero idea what they're talking about. I feel like all of these rifles have ramps and controlled feeds. But hey, I'm sure somebody can get down in the comments and explain to me what the control feed in particular that they're talking about, because it seems neat. I don't like that it has a last round bolt stop. It's 5 rounds. I think that's unnecessary. And it just makes, working the gun unloaded more of a pain in the butt. And you have to drop the floor plate to actually be able to work your bolt and stuff. But that's just me. What do you think? Get down in those comments and let me know. So hey, I hope you loved this video and at least learned a little bit about these super underappreciated Spanish rifles. I think they're incredibly cool, and there's a huge history on the Spanish Civil War and the American Spanish War. It's really, really cool. And I'll be doing entire segments on that, entire episodes, because I can't do that justice in this little collaboration that we're doing. But you'll get to learn a lot more if you hit the subscribe button about the Spanish Civil War and history on these incredibly old weapons. And hey, I hope to catch you back here next time. And if you haven't already, get down there in the description, hit the links to all my friends' channels. Appreciate it.